Hello and welcome to an unboxing to the Resident Evil 2 board game. I am a backer. I bought the original set as well as two extra sets you can see here, the Malformation of G and the 4th Survivor expansion. If you can still buy this game now, but of course it will cost more and you're not going to get any of the Kickstarter exclusive stuff. I can see online that you can currently go to their site. There are price listings for an extra dice set, the base game, B-Files expansion, as well as the Survivor expansion pack. So the three big boxes at the back. So full disclosure, I'm a backer. This wasn't sent to me and stuff. And the reason why I got this is because I love Resident Evil. I made a Lego film about it a long time ago. Some people still like it. Thank you very much for watching. And of course, I've been playing a lot more board games recently just because, well, more friends are playing board games now as well as video games kind of suck these days with all their loot box and stuff, so I tend to play more board games with friends, chatting, it's great. I still play a lot of video games, I still play a lot of indie games, like, horror stuff. I just played Bendy, that was quite fun for a little thing. And big games, I'm looking forward to the remake of this, but I'm worried about Capcom being crappy with their stuff. But whatever, we're here to look at the board game itself. So I'm going to open these boxes one by one and you see what's inside. Have a conclusion right at the end. So before we open this box, I'm in Hong Kong. That means this was shipped to me via their Asian hub. And this is how everything was put together. There were these 4 or 8 black little tabs in the corners of the box so they don't get warped and stuff. And then bubble wrap on top of that with some cardboard on the side. And all of that was put inside another box, the Chateau shipping box, with extra expanded polystyrene in a few circles just to give it some sponge and so it doesn't hit the side of the boxes. So everything was super duper secure. And every single individual box here has shrink wrap over it that I've already removed. And inside here there are also plastic trays with a bit of tape, just 2 pieces of tape to keep it together. That's also been removed. But aside from that, I've not done anything to them. So here we go. Main box is the heaviest. Everything else is quite, well, the boxes are big, but then there's not too much going on in there because this one's heavy mostly because all of the paperwork are going to be in here. Whoa, well, that's upside down. This game contains scenes of explicit violence and gore, much like the video game apparently, and this sheet's the same on both sides, but this one's a little bit warped and stuff. That's annoying. Seems to be exact graphics, like not the text, but the graphics are exactly from the game. So nice touch there, but honestly completely unnecessary. Some people like that stuff for their experience. I don't. I think it's a waste, and I can't even use this for like a poster or anything. I wish the text was just printed on the front, not on the back, or whichever side you want to say is the front. That would have been nice, but no, we have this there, and it's completely useless. Okay, so rulebook. That's important. How many pages is this? 23. There's a free copy of this rulebook online from the Kickstarter page. You can download the PDF for, and then you got the scenario box. I think this is like an alternate cover of one of the Resident Evil 2 releases. And ranking S, 28 days. Haha, got that reference. And pretty cool. All full colored stuff. There'll be more scenario books in some of the other expansions. So we have our base game board here. You can build our own city and stuff. And looks like it's already popping out of place. That's good. You don't want to start ripping paper and stuff. And that piece just fell out. Seems, they're double-sided, and the other side's completely different. That's great, not wasting resources, much like the Doom board game does this as well. But the Doom board game, difference is that one, I've been playing a lot of Doom board game, that one is like this, also has all of these plates and stuff, and they're all double-sided, but the Doom board game has little zigzaggy cutouts where the doors and ends of corridors would be, so you can actually build the board together. I'm slightly worried that when I do play this on the table and stuff, people are going to knock the board and it's just going to split into different pieces. But so this reminds me of the board game that's just called Zombies, triple exclamation points, and that also has like little card pieces as boards. They're not as thick cardboard, but they also do the same, where it's just pieces of cardboard, thin pieces with no edges to them. So we got 1, 2, 3. Oh, there goes another piece. 4, and another piece finds out. 5. This one's not strictly boards though. I've got doors, corridors, and these little pieces. Not sure what they are. So there's an instruction telling me what they are. And what was that? 6, 7. So 7 big boards. That's the heaviest component of the board game itself. And then here we have our plastic tray of goodies. Like I said, there's sellotape on each side of this plastic tray, so you move that. And let's see, we have our dice here. See, we got these dice here. You can buy an extra set of these if any of these mess up. They're quite hefty. They feel good, as dice goes. A baggie of tiny little round tabs. So I guess that's for having items stand up, I think, maybe. We have a pack of, let's see, we've got a character cards here, I guess event cards as well. And we got our little weapon cards in here as well. So these are shrink wrapped. The other boxes, let's have a quick look. They, Alright, so quick look at these cards here. They seem a bit on the thin side, but they are laminated somewhat, so that's okay, I guess. I wish they was just slightly thicker. We've got our main character cards here. Oh, zombie card. And then we got, I guess, our mission cards, all clears, echoes in the darkness, right. So yeah, just bunch of mission cards. So got some, I guess, tactical cards and stuff. I've not read the instruction yet. Oh, more monster cards. We got a liquor card right there. So yeah, that's cool. And on the other side, we've got some doors. Birkin cards, more doors, monster cards, I guess, and just most of them are doors. So that's going to be a little bit hard to recognize on the front. I guess they have a reason for that. And of course, we have our smaller cards right here. See, upside down, we got our handgun, weapons, cards, herbs, keys. I guess if you bought the retro pack, which I didn't buy, you would have all of these cards in more of a retro look. But I'm totally fine with what they are right now. Anyway, miniature time. So this is cool. I just quickly assembled some of these, and you can see SMG ammo, and you got the plastic tabs that go in these cardboard pieces, so you can count the ammo that you have, you know, and different ones, different guns have different looks to them. The SMG has multiple bullets. And you also have one here that's says this is like the final encounter one, so I guess it's counting the health of the final boss. And you also get one spare set of these plastic tabs if you lose them. Right, top right there we have Claire and we have Ada upside down. For some reason the package is that way. We've got our two liquors there. Just gonna grab one of those just to see how secure that tongue is. Actually, that tongue's really secure. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break at all. So, only one of them though. The different pose one's a bit softer. The bases of these two liquors are slightly warped. So, I guess all of these figurines will need some kind of hot water treatment. We've got our type of G there, and we have our next G there. I forget which numbers these are. I think this is like number 4, type 4G. No, it can't be, because it's like he's still kind of human, and he gets the extra arms like this one, and then he loses more human face. So the LDB will be 3. This will be 4, and then we've got a bigger one, 5, and then finally like 6 or whatever. Anyway, many zombies here. We've got some female zombies, different pose zombies. These are cop zombies. That's cool. We have Kendo there, and Leon who's upside down, and then underneath both of them we have some zombie dogs. Cool. Next we have the B-Files expansion. The box itself is the exact same size as the main game or the survival horror expansion box, but it is a lot lighter because there's nowhere near as the same amount of stuff that you get from the original box. But anyway, of course we have our rules booklet for B-Files expansion, and the new maps here. This booklet also includes the maps as well, so it's just because it's less stuff here, it's expansion, so it's all combined into one box. I'm totally fine with that. We have a smaller board here. Seems to have more target stuff, more zombie cards, staircases, whatever. That just came out. Okay, so that's half, and so I've got 1.5 boards in this one compared to the 7 boards in the main one, and we have a bunch of cards, and again we have more items here. Alright, so inside this box we have a bunch more zombies here, and that one's like a scientist zombie. That's cool. I don't think it's like a broken or anything. It's just, you know, zombies. And underneath here we have 2 more kinds of liquor poses. We have the tyrant there and a mutated tyrant, so that's awesome. And then of course we have a bunch of cards for the tyrant. These are more tyrant cards, and then just different, just more cards to go with the main game. And of course we also have some small cards here, and these are the same quality as the main box, of course. Shotgun, but we don't actually get a shotgun weapon here, so I'm not sure what this is for. Does it replace the original shotgun? Seems to have new ammo types as well, a grenade launcher. But again, there's no card or disc thing that the other box had, so that's interesting. Next up, we have our survival horror expansion. I was like, hey, I don't remember ordering this as well, but this is part of the bonuses that Kickstarter's people would have had if the pledge went through certain milestones. So not only do we get exclusive stuff, but we also get this entire expansion pack for free as a bonus. You can buy this separately for like $50 US, I think. So we've got an extra rulebook guide there, and we've got what's his name? Brad figures on the front. So yeah, we got some more details and some more scenarios in here. That's good. No actual game boards in here, but we do have our pieces and of course the cards corresponding to the pieces. Now I didn't buy any of the creature packs as such, like no alligators or flying stuff. But even if I don't get that, there's still 2 plant monsters in here, so I don't feel like I'm completely missing out. And got 2 giant spiders. So yeah, my friend in the UK is going to love those giant spiders. Imagine if I painted them like proper spider colors as well, because some spiders, these are roughly like real spider sizes, so that can scare someone. Anyway, that's the thing to remember, is I probably paint the bases like monsters to have unique colored bases, just single color, so they stand out as not actual spiders. But we got our giant spider cards, we got our ivy cards, poison ivy, zombies, Brad figures, zombie Marvin. That's a shame. And we got the advanced Leon S. Kelly, advanced Claire. So I guess these are just different cards, different stats. So that's cool. Who's Ben? I don't know this guy. Then we have the entire Birkin family, and like Chief Irons and some extra. Is that something about G? Malformations of G. So just some extra game cards here. No weapon cards, but we've got some extra OG virus sample. So I guess it'd be cool to use this set with the 4th Survive expansion. We've got some new weapons here, so that's kind of cool. And what's that? Oh, Eagle Medal. So puzzle solving items, that's cool. And this we didn't go back to this yet. So yeah, these are pretty nice. We got our zombie versions up there. We got the Birkin family there. One of the ones there, and yeah, these, like I said, these spiders are definitely molded quite spooky, and so these plant creatures are also done quite nice. A lot of tentacles here. Does it feel secure? Yeah, you know what? It does. It feels quite safe and sound. So I look forward to finally painting these. I've actually painted more of my Doom miniatures as well, so eventually I should do a video on that. And I've also played enough games that I feel like I can review that board game as well. Next up, 4th Survivor expansion. Same scale box, like same size square, but the depth is much thinner. So because there's not a lot of stuff in here compared to the other boxes. Well, that's it. So yeah, we of course have our extra instruction booklet and stuff for these extra characters and new scenarios, because it's like a survival scenario. Tofu. And so yep, and inside there we of course have a game board here. Let's focus that. Just a single sheet, so it's still nice to have all these extra stuff. So you've got some streets, some offices, medical labs, whatever. Move that to the side. This tray, we also have another board here, which seems silly to separate them like that, but we got our health stuff, some other small items. Still not sure what these long pieces are, but we of course have our hunk and tofu guy there, and more cards. So these cards were actually kind of warped inside the packaging, so that kind of sucks, but we have a card for character cards there for 2 expansions, and then some items. They got some bombs. Better luck next time. Oh, I guess we didn't get the items. These are like empty ones, so that's cool. Next up, Malformations of G. I thought this was going to be one box, but as you can see here, this one's actually a B files expansion. So this one goes with B files. If you don't have B files, then there's no point getting this. At least no point getting just to. If you don't have B files, you're not going to be able to play with this box. Anyway, with Kickstarter people, we're going to get the B files no matter what, so these are fine. And this one even has an extra expansion level area. So inside the instructions, we have one story layout, I think. You have just one story layout. Honestly, not too much. It's just like a boss fight. And with this one, do we have any story layouts? No, but I guess something else happens when we do that. But whatever. Here we are. We got these big miniatures here. We got some more cards. Just all of the character cards, damage attacks, and all that. Birkin Stage 5, and Birkin Stage 1. With this other box with the small cards, we only have a few of these, but Magnum ammo, grenade rounds, and Magnum. And of course we have a bunch of Birkin Stage 2 and Stage 4 cards, so because these are for the characters and necessary, that's fine. And finally, we have our Kickstarter exclusive pledge stuff. Box is the same size as the main game, B files, and horror expansion, whatever, but this is, actually I think this is the lightest box because all we get inside is a plastic tray full of miniatures, and like they said, these are alternate sculpts, so they don't come with any of their own items or cards or variants and stuff. There's no cards in here, these are all just sculpts. So I'm not going to just show you this, I'm gonna go through all the miniatures now and how I feel overall about the board game itself. And so you look at these two. So the quality of these miniatures, they're quite good. You pick them up in the hand, they feel solid, they feel quite smooth, and they're also quite detailed. Everything we saw from the digital images are here, but of course since it's such a small scale, this is going to be painting required if you really want to make these characters pop. All of the good characters are done in a greyish blue, quite pleasing colour actually, and all of the enemies are in this sort of crimson red. To compare these to other board games that I've played, the Zombies board game, the zombies there are a little softer material as well as more injection lines coming out of the side, so you really have to like cut them down yourselves or trim them or sand them down if you want to make them look perfect. Whereas the figures here, they're more solid and they don't have any of those issues. And they're quite similar to the plastic that you get from the Doom board game perhaps. Although because of the shape and sizes of them, they're not as like hard, they're a little bit softer because they're very thin figurines and characters. What I don't like about these plastic figurines is more than one. Some of these have warped figures, slightly bent, or the base itself is not flat. It can be very frustrating, so you probably are going to have to deal with them with the hot water solution, where you put them in hot water and let the plastic reshape back to its original form. My Claire, for example, is tilting slightly to the right. My Claire, for example, is tilting slightly to her left, so that's annoying. Second thing I don't like about these figures is due to the molding process, certain parts had to be molded separately and then glued down later. And a lot of the times these glue blobs are very visible, like there's just a shiny patch on where the joint is, as well as the joint being quite visible, so that can be quite annoying for some people. But for a lot of people, if you intend to paint these anyway, that's fine. In regards to and also, like on these figures, a lot of details that would be missing due to the not being painted are molded in here as 3D bits. For example, Leon's police shirt, his logo, and the RPD logo. Those would have been flat details in the original game, and now they've 3D'd up just a little bit, so it bumps up a little bit so you have to see it, even though they haven't actually painted it on. And well, that's not 100% accurate to what it was in the game, but it does mean that it's also going to be easier to paint if anyone wants to do that. Which, by the way, all these figures also have a slightly matte feel to them. They don't feel like shiny or have any oils on the plastic, so painting them should be relatively smooth. Now, zombie figures themselves are also quite awesome. We have 12 zombie figures with 3 types. We have male, female, and police zombie, and that's really cool that there are variants here. Even that Zombies board game, again, you only get one type of zombies unless you pay extra for the alternative stuff. In the special edition, there were 2 types of zombies in there, but that's still just 2 types when the whole game was just zombies. A lot of other zombie board games also suffer the same fate, where they just have a single mold or just 2. I mean, with this box just here, not counting all the other expansions and stuff, we still have 3 different types of zombies. Not only that, but just from the sculpt, I can recognize the female zombie from what you would have seen in the game. I think in one of the first places you see a zombie like this with a lower shirt just torn away. So yeah, they didn't just make random zombies. These look like the zombies from Raccoon City. The zombie dogs are cool too. All 4 figures are different molds, almost look like they go through some sort of running animation. They're great. The lickers are cool too. We only get 2 here, but again, both of them are different molds. One is a scratching attack, and one's in the licking attack. Of course, it's a licker. The licking one's, his tongue is very soft and fragile. I do worry about this one, but the other one with the shorter tongue seems to do a lot better. So yes, do be careful with the licker. The G figures look fantastic. I'm not a big fan of that middle-ish form, the one where he just doesn't really look like any of the other versions of G. That one kind of sucks, but it's still really detailed and nice. But that main one with the big claw arms, that looks really cool, and the tiny fingers are also quite secure. With the B-Files expansion, we get 2 more types of zombies. One's lab and I guess one's the experimented ones. These are awesome, so add that to the other ones. There's already 5 types of different zombies. The Tyrant figure looks cool, looks just like he does in the game or any of the other remakes. He looks awesome, and his mutated form looks great too. And once again, the thin claws that he has are do feel quite safe and durable. The Lickers, it's great we have 2 more poses of Lickers. That's awesome. The round crouching, he's got the long tongue, that definitely feels a bit fragile. And his weird toes, those are not so fragile because those are glued down to the base. That's great. The other one, however, he's completely sticking out of his base. And those bits, the claws feel okay, but once again, that tiny tongue there, that feels very weak, so that needs to be a bit more careful. This survival horror expansion does seem quite important to have, just because it has the entire Birkin family as well as some other really important characters. So that's kind of nice. The Birkin families all look really great. I think the glue on Annette Birkin's torso is a little bit obvious with a gap between the belt and legs, and Sherry is a little bit on the soft side because of how tiny she is, plus mine was a little bit warped in the production, so I gotta be really careful for her. I don't want to snap her legs. Marvin and Brad, those are quite nice little touches, nice to have. It's cool, like an alternative, not seeing them die. Brad still has a super scared face, okay. Zombie versions of them are quite cool as well. Yeah, I never really need to see Marvin as a zombie. I mean, I don't remember him in the original game as a zombie, but I could be mistaken. Any other characters for calling them PvP characters? We've got this Ben guy here. I really can't remember. Oh, Ben's the reporter in the cellar, right? I've forgotten. He's got the ties. Okay, that was alright. His ponytail reminds me of Seth Zoskowski. How do I pronounce his name? I watch his YouTube for a lot of Cthulhu stuff. Looks like a miniature of him. And then of course Chief Irons. Good to have that prick here. Face doesn't look quite like him. Could be misremembering that, but maybe he will look like him after he's painted. The monsters here, like I said earlier, the spiders look like actual spiders at this size. So yeah, creepy. Hate that stuff. But their arms are pretty cool, quite solid. And the plant creatures, yep, their tentacles are quite solid too. And I'm so happy that both of these are in different poses. Even the spiders are actually in different poses. One is like standby, one's attack pose. So it's really cool that they put different poses in these. Just they didn't have to, and it would have been awesome, but they did, and that's great. So the overall, of course, is most parts just a block with a tiny knife sticking out. Hilarious, love it. Because for the most part, it's just a block. He's quite secure. My knife is got bent in the box. That seems to be a recurring thing here. A lot of these figures are a little bit bent. I've actually seen someone else online also having this problem. Also, a little bit of molding ejection issue here, but since he's mostly a block, I don't mind too much of this. He's fine. And Mr. Death himself, yeah, he's pretty cool. Not glued on exactly correctly, but again, that's fine. Once it's painted, you won't notice it. Uzi's great, but his other hand also almost looks like he's holding a remote detonator, but he's not. There's nothing in his hand. So it just looks like he's giving you a thumbs up, like, yeah. What? The Malformation of G creatures are super awesome. I mean, yeah, we have this big lump here, which is just... Well, it's not as big as I think it should be. Like, I think to scale, would it be a little bit bigger? Because it was trying to swallow the entire, like, train car. Over here, of course, we have the most iconic version of Birkin. This is just a cool figure to have. And, but his legs are a little bit on the soft side, and this bar that he's holding is actually not attached to the plate, so it's a little bit dodgy, a little bit. This one's cool too. This one's surprisingly solid, and this one here is also very solid as well, despite all these tiny little fingers coming out. And this is cool. Earlier I said another figure, that was just a G mutant. Oops, I got mixed up. But yes, right here, if you have the expansion, Malformation of G, as well as the B files there, as well as the Survival Horror box, you can have the full evolution of William Birkin from human to stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his mutations. Cool. And finally, we have our Kickstarter exclusive stuff. Quickly looking at these cop zombies, these alternate cop zombies. This row here, they're okay. They're just a little bit different from the regular one. Honestly, not too big a deal. You're not missing much. I think their arms just slightly in different position. These ones here, these cops, they're also in slightly different position. Not too special. What's special is you got these flaming ones. These are really, really cool. You got some of these like already decaying zombies. Seriously, for those people with fear of like, what's that fear where you're afraid of many things pushed together? Like lots of dots and stuff. I'm like, ugh. Like I get that phobia in my head when I'm looking at stuff like that. So, and then we have these half body and crawling zombies. These are really cool. Just add so much to the game, I think, to have some of these figurines, and because all these were, for free for Kickstarter people, so that's great. Like, if you don't have these, it's fine, but these just add so much flavor to, when playing the game and stuff. Alternative costumes, they're great too. So we have 2 alternative costume Leons as well as an injured Leon. These are cool. This injured Leon especially, that's great for halfway through the game because that's how he looks in the story. Nice figure to have. And then we got like 2 alternative Claires here. These are nice, as well as alternative Ada. This is just cool to have as well. And all of these are quite solid too. Maybe the gun and the crossbow a little bit on the thin side. If you're just careful with it, they should be just fine. So these are my first impression conclusions just from unboxing the stuff. Does this meet my expectations as a Kickstarter person who's played a few other different board games? And I have to say yes, it does. Now, I don't know about the gameplay or anything, just purely on what we get in the box. The miniatures are good for the most part, aside from a few bumps here and there, a bit of the glue shining up. Especially if you plan on painting these, you're not going to see those problems at all. These figures, these miniatures, they're awesome. They're pretty good. They're not the best out there. I don't know what would be the best. Perhaps Warhammer or some special D&D figurines or metal figurines or whatnot. But as a board game, these are great. They serve their purpose. The alternate costume stuff are great, and of course getting a bunch of free stuff as part of the Kickstarter is awesome as well. Now, I don't like the plastic tray that they come in. Now, some of these figures come out warped, and that's annoying. And I think some of it has to do with the black plastic tray. They take up space. They're supposed to protect the figures, but they don't do that, meaning that they're entirely pointless. And if I want to take this board game to someone else's home or some place to play, I'm going to have to be bringing a lot of boxes. So I'm thinking I'm going to chuck all these plastic trays into the recycle bin. I'm not keeping them. Instead, I'm going to get a few of those like little plastic medicine boxes to put all the little plastic little card tabs into different boxes, because games like these, if you don't have the pieces organized, it's going to take forever to set up and pack away. So you definitely want to keep these organized. So I'm going to chuck away these plastic trays, get little medicine boxes or whatever, and something else to put these figurines in. And I feel like I should be able to get everything I have here down to just 2 boxes. The card plates, like the playing board itself, and then all the other pieces that come from those card tabs. The card itself is pretty hard, and at times feels like it might as well be a plastic piece or wooden piece. Of course, you can still do water damage to them, but they are quite solid. I don't like those long thin pieces, which turns out they're actually meant to be wall sections, like just to cut up the board. That's not good, even on the game design says. I'm guessing they're probably trying to stay really true to the map design of the original video game, but hey, we're making a board game here. You should take some liberties, and I think those wall pieces are just no good. And I also prefer the board design of the Doom board game, where they have some little zigzaggy patterns around the edge for the whole pieces to connect together. Whereas here, everything's just straight cuts, meaning that if, once again, it can be quite easy to just mess up and push around. That's no cool. The Doom board game, when you sub the map, everything becomes a single piece, a single map. That's great. Here, no, everything's still split. I don't like that. The printing on the board, on the map itself, great. There's definitely scenes and bits I recognize from the video game. Those are awesome. And very clear, very simple. All the other pieces come out of those cards are great too. Now, the actual deck of cards that you get, I think the card back that they've done is a little bit on the thin side. Not a fan. I wish they were slightly thicker. I wish, just again, like the Doom board game, where the cards actually have a bit of a pattern to it, makes it really nice to shuffle. Whereas here, we don't get that. It's just kind of shiny cards, Feels a bit on the cheap side, not a fan. The printing is good on those, but it's just the actual physical quality isn't that great. Don't like them too much, but whatever. And that's it, really. If you're buying it now, are you missing out on all the Kickstarter stuff? First of all, the alternate costumes, alternate sculpts, those are obviously great. It's nice to get them for free, but they're not essential at all. Those are just flavor dressing. If you don't have those, I think it's totally fine. You're not missing out on the experience. But of course, if you are indeed a Resident Evil fan, then some of these costumes would definitely kick some of the nostalgia stuff from inside, from your memories. So you're not going to get that kick. But as a fully functional board game, no, the Kickstarter exclusives are not necessary. And what about all the other different packs? I feel like the pieces and story that you might get, I'm just judging by the miniatures here, from the base game is not quite the full Resident Evil 2 experience, I think. You don't get the final G figure or the first type of G figure. You get somewhere in the middle, which, okay, I get it, that's a nice balance if you only have to have one version of G in here, have the middle one. That's okay, I guess, but it's obviously much nicer to get the Malformation of G, just to make it feel more complete. If you buy just the base game, judging from what the pieces you get, I think it's still a relatively fun experience. If you're not too sure, get that. It's still a full game, I think it is, and you're still going to get a pretty good Resident Evil experience. But if you are just going to get just one more, I would say go with the G-Pack. The Survival Horror expansion that I got for free here is, I don't think it's necessary, but some people say, hey, if you play Resident Evil, how can you not have Sherry? So in that sense, it's necessary. It's a nice expansion pack to get. You got the entire Birkin family, you got some new monsters, not just zombies, and but aside from the Birkin family, everything else doesn't feel that necessary. So once again, you're honestly not missing much if you don't get the Survival Horror expansion. The B-File expansion, once again, it's just a bit more of the base game, so you're not really missing out on much. You got some extra zombies, extra lickers, because Tyrant was a pretty big deal in Resident Evil 2 game, but you don't need it to feel complete. And finally, that fourth Survive expansion, yep, that is definitely a gimmick, one for people who've played the game. It's great to have. I don't know what price they're going to charge for in the future, or if they are going to still sell it individually, but it's a nice pack to have. Once again, definitely not essential to the main game. What I feel like is essential is the Malformation of G stuff. I feel like that's quite important to get with your main game. And I'm not sure if these are going to be sold separately in the future, but if they are, that's going to be annoying because one of them needs the B-File expansion. So it's pretty much forcing you to get the B-File expansion. that's annoying. But these are the sets I've picked up that I feel like, as a Resident Evil fan, as a person who played the games and pretty much all Resident Evil games, I feel like these are the sets to get. I have no feelings for the alligator, no feelings for the flying creatures. I feel like those are just really side stuff. And for miniature people out there, the 3D doors, 3D objects, those are kind of cool. If you like painting and stuff and models and stuff, those are cool bits to have. They weren't that expensive to Kickstarter, don't know how much they're going to cost. Finally, if you're not a Kickstarter backer and you're buying these now, from what I can see, I've saved about $150 US dollars. That's a lot saving, plus all of the extra free stuff that I got on top of that. So yeah, it's a big, really big deal if you're gonna buy it now after the Kickstarter stuff. So if you do like Resident Evil and you missed the Kickstarter, I do still recommend just picking up the base board game. I don't know if once again, I don't know if the rules or gameplay is actually any good. Watch other reviews for that. But based on what I get in the box, the base game is good enough on its own if you're buying it now. And only then, once you played it a few times and you like the gameplay, then pick up, the B-Files, G, and then Survival Horror stuff. So thanks for watching this unboxing. Hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know if you guys want to see the review of the Doom board game sooner than later, because if I see people talking about that, then I'm gonna do it sooner. Or otherwise I'll do other stuff instead. As always, you can support this channel by clicking the like button, subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I have a few other smaller board game reviews done a long time ago, not that good. I mostly do toy reviews here. If you like what you're seeing, also support this channel by leaving a comment below how you feel about this board game, or if you played the previous Dark Souls stuff. I don't think they're going to be the same, but perhaps the miniature quality is going to be the same. And you can also support this channel by turning adblock off or heading over to Patreon and supporting it that way. So yeah, check out my other videos if you want. Mostly toy videos, real stuff, bootleg Lego, official Lego. Yep. Subscribe, suggest, and comment below. Of course, take care and have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now.